Back in 2021, we started Young Hunger, talking to some of its most top young successful individuals in Northern Ireland. Here we are in 2024 on our 28th episode. I thought to myself, no one really knows me. No one really knows about the podcast, where we want to go, or why we started. So I thought this was a good opportunity to sort of touch base on that and for you guys to find out a little bit more about us. So to help, we've decided to dedicate this very episode to just that. My name's Michael Burgess and you're watching the official Young Hunger podcast. Boss, what's the crack?
Well.
A bit of a different scenery, I guess, today. I want to sort of share something a wee bit different. You know, we go around and talk to some of us like most top young successful individuals in Northern Ireland.
Yes, of course.
But someone actually recently said to me, like, it's all well and good, but like no one really knows like you, essentially, like us in a way. And I sort of thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity and sort of talk over like about the podcast myself, but about yourself.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
And let people find out a little bit more about us.
Happy days. I think that's very important, like, because it's all well and good going out there and interviewing a whole load of, you know, successful business people, but when it comes down to yourself, you know, I'd say a lot of people would really like to get to know you. You know what I mean? And the brains behind it all. Yeah. You know, so.
Well, I'd be lying if I said it was just us. There is Johnny. Yeah, can't just shout out to Johnny.
Definitely. We'll get him on sometime as well.
Yeah, he's always away working and stuff, so I want to sort of try to get him more on board and stuff, and
of course
maybe sort of make this into a bit more of a series ourselves, where we can sort of like talk and like what we've learned maybe from the journey so far.
Of course.
But like I was going to say, we started back in like 2024, and we started in 2021. How's that feel? Like
it's mental. Like you were literally just saying before the podcast here, having the logo up on the screen,
the
merchandise, the sign, like
it's pretty hard to believe, isn't it?
Together, you know what I mean? Like it's I still remember approaching the idea and then seeing nearly 3 years roll on just to where we're at now. It's insane. Like it's mental to think.
I know, like we've came on such a long way, even your equipment and you say logos and stuff, and like this, I want to use this as a bit of a studio as such.
Definitely.
For more of this type of work. But see, when I first approached you back in like 2021.
Would have been
Yeah. What did you think? Were you like?
I was excited by the idea because back then I had never recorded a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember so I was mad excited about it, and I don't know, I was just eager for this journey to see where it could go, because in the back of my head I was like, this is a very strong idea. There's something here I really like, you know, no one in Northern Ireland's doing this before.
Yeah.
And then that was the main thing. So I was like, how can we make this happen? What do I need to do? How can I go around it? And remember, you wanted to have kind of a cinematic approach to the podcast kind of scene, you know what I mean? So like the intro and everything, you wanted it to be very kind of almost like with the narrative based, you know, with that first episode we done, which we really kind of nailed. And I think seeing the equipment, like I had a tripod that was probably around 20 quid, at a camera that was no longer here, I don't even think, actually.
Yeah.
And I had a really cheap £40 microphone. So just recording all that in this tiny little one camera. I think I may have had like a little light or something to a little tiny one.
Yeah.
But then seeing it all just kind of go to this now, where it's like a kind of full scale setup production.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It's incredible to see.
I actually remember saying, like, we didn't even call it a podcast at the start. We called it like a visual interview, like visual experience or something. We were trying to say.
Yeah, it was almost like we combined video and podcast.
Yeah.
It wasn't podcast or something. It definitely wasn't that. That sounds a bit weird. But it was something. Oh, I don't know. It'll come to me like after this, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's funny. Like
the funny thing is, like, I remember, I think the actual backstory of Young Hunger is like it was 2020. It was just after like the first lockdown, when people were starting to go back to work. And like I actually got a job on a building site. For like a landscaping company, and where we were, the guy who was like the client as such, he was building this big house, and he was an older guy, extremely successful.
Class.
And we were all sort of on site working for him, and I don't know what it is, but like back in like June 2020, I always had this like instinct. I sort of want to know, how did he actually get to where he is, like. How did he have so many people working for him? And like, I just thought to myself, it's fascinating to me. And I thought to myself, why does someone not go and ask him questions? And then basically what happened was, I said to a couple people on site, and they were like, you'll never speak to, like, there's no chance, don't worry about that. And they didn't really see the idea and sort of bit me off a wee bit. And then a couple of months down the line, it was like late 2020, I actually got his phone number. And funny enough, I rang him one day, I remember. I was like, we'll call him Jeff.
Yeah. It's great.
I was like, hi Jeff, it's wee Michael here from the site, because I was the wee guy, I was the young guy. And I don't even think he knew who I was, but I was like, look, can I come up and like ask you a couple questions? Like, I don't want anything from you, just want to know, like, couple of things off you, and that's it. And he's like, yeah, come up on Wednesday night, sure, and we can talk. But he literally had no idea what I was asking or where it was going. So I went down to his kitchen one day, and literally just as we are now, I like got a cup of coffee, sat down and talked to the guy, and sort of like, look, how'd you get here and here? And he told me, and just thought to myself, this is so interesting.
That's incredible.
And it sort of spun off from there, and then I ran the idea past you. It actually took us a year later to grow the balls.
To kind of get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad. But like, see, even before that, like, did you kind of ever have that interest in people, like how they got there? Was it truly that kind of job that sparked the idea of it?
I think it was always there, because like I'd always say to my brother Johnny, and then he would always say to me, and then like I actually remember being in Bangor one day, and a guy pulled up in like after the lights, and the guy like pulled up beside me in a Lamborghini.
Yes.
And that was actually James Blake.
Which
is a funny thing.
That is funny when you think of it.
I thought to myself, like, I wonder how he got there. But then the whole fact with like the cameras and talking on camera really put me off, because in school and growing up, I was always like the shy guy.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like I'd be the guy at the family table and stuff and not talk. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I thought to myself, always sort of just nearly put myself down as to why like we didn't do this.
I get you.
Or couldn't do this.
100%. But it's mad to see though, like the progress you've made since starting it all off, you know.
Yeah.
Like I still remember that first day we were doing the first episode, like the interview for it.
Yeah.
And the intro for it, and like
that was tough.
It was a tough spot to put you in as well.
Yeah.
Because we wanted the shot of the shop in the background, but we were on a busy sidewalk with people coming up and down, and the sun was blazing right down on you.
Yeah.
It was the only spot we had that could work with it.
Yeah.
So we just had to make it work. But like we got there in the end, which was the main thing. But I think that was a perfect like kind of that's the deepest end you can get within that kind of. Within this kind of podcast we've been doing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think just seeing your growth from there to where it is now is incredible. You know what I mean? Because like I still remember like
that took like 20 shots.
20 shots, yeah. Now like it does not take that many. Like you know what I mean?
I remember saying to you, like, I actually feel bad for you editing this, because like
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Because
that's the process of it though, you know.
People are walking by looking, and like, you know, if someone has a camera talking, people are looking. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's nearly scared me. But I had this sort of vision in my idea. I was like, I wanted it to look a certain way, and with like Cahill's shop, I really wanted to show off that's us now. And I thought whenever I remember seeing your finished edit, I was like, wow, like this is actually what I had
in mind almost.
In my head,
That's class.
So I thought that was absolutely crazy. But I just thought, wonder what you think about that type thing, and where you go from there. But like, I think that what sort of surprises you a wee bit is like through school a lot of the time, like I had no social media presence. Like I had like you know, like the profile picture Facebook gives you when you don't have a profile picture.
Yeah.
I had that. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And like I was sort of looking back now, I would have denied it at the time, but like I was so scared of like judgment. I was so scared of people's opinion of me. Like, but stuff. I actually did change it one day, and like my sister, she'll remember this. A couple other people were like, "Yo, like that's a bad photo. Take it down." And it scared me. Like it stuck with me, and I was like, "Flip!" Like people are like so like obsessed with like what they see online, and like I think Paul Kennedy mentioned it. Like everyone thinks they have this spotlight effect.
Yeah.
No one actually gives a fuck.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And it's sort of like I feel like whenever I was telling my dad the idea of Young Hunger, I was like, "Look, I want to do this idea of talking to like these types of people." Interviewing it and that type of thing, and I still had the profile picture Facebook gives you, the blank photo.
Yeah.
My dad's like, I just don't understand what you're trying to do here. Like, does this thing make money? Then why do it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was trying to like sort of show that vision, but I'm glad we pushed on and did it.
Definitely.
I guess.
Because I think the connections we've made out of this whole journey is priceless.
Yeah.
You know, the advice, the wisdom, everything we've gained from it, you can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? And we have what's the 29th episode, is it?
28th.
28th, yeah. So the 28th episode, and like just the amount of knowledge that we've built up over all these episodes that we can just look back upon whenever we want. You know what I mean? Is wild, I think.
Yeah. I was actually, you were like, what, number 18?
Yeah, that's mad when you think about it too.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Like that's probably coming up to a year now, I'd say. It's coming close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be.
Because I remember thinking to myself, wow, like, if you can talk, like, you, I remember thinking, at the very start, like, I was so proud of you, like, for actually coming on to, coming onto the podcast, because I could see the growth from, like, my own perspective.
I get you.
And I was like, wow, like, Ross is absolutely killing it. I was like, you know what, like, as the host, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Even actually talking to people, I still didn't feel like I had the confidence to talk on camera.
I get you.
If that makes sense.
I get you, but I think that's the thing though. Like as I said earlier, like your confidence has majorly grown since the beginning.
Yeah.
And even like your confidence in front of the cameras too, and being able to direct people as well. Like how you kind of want the shot, you know, like overlooking the shot that I'm taking too, making sure you're happy.
Yeah.
Like, I love seeing that too because you're getting involved with the whole production side of things as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
You know, it's the idea that's actually coming to life. You know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful process to see.
The other thing is, like, I know you do like an absolutely like top tier job, and then I feel like it's good to have that and all, and I want that, and then it's like maybe good, like, you know, we were talking about this putting the sign here and what's here, and I feel like that's definitely something I've learned is you need to really bounce ideas off people.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
The sort of your idea can be good, but like by bouncing your idea across from people, it can make it better.
Exactly, the possibilities too are endless that way.
Yeah,
to say
for
you're
sure.
just in a room on your own, or you're only in your own head with the ideas. You're
Yeah.
like, will this work? Will this not work? And then you can bounce it off, as you said, and you might have another idea with that idea that will just make it work perfectly. You know what I mean?
And that was another
That's
thing
the
with,
thing.
with Cahill's, like I had that idea and then bounced stuff off you, and I feel like it made it
Just kept building on it.
even better.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
I know it's a powerful thing, but I think that's the biggest thing too. Is like just always having someone there to bounce ideas off.
Yeah.
If you just get stuck in your own head trying to think about things and think things through,
Yeah.
you just get lost. Like,
Oh,
you know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
Like that's definitely came with like experience. Do you know? I think. Do you feel like that's definitely something?
Definitely.
It's nearly like a naive or like a, I don't know what the word is, but like you want to do it yourself.
Could be a slight bit of perfectionism too, because you want the things done your way and you want it done right. But like if you don't open up the doors and let other people in, like you might never get something done that way. You know what I mean? Like, and I think a lot of people who understand that have been through that process.
Yeah.
So you've tried to do loads of things on your own, nothing works out, and then you just decide to take the step to let more people in and see what can actually happen, and you'll realise things will just flourish much quicker like that way.
Where would you want to see the podcast go, or what's your take on it?
I just love to see it going overseas, the biggest thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd say that's where it'll start to get very, very, very competitive. That's where the challenges will truly kick in, you know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing, but I'd say even like setting up something, like I seen you were working on the website too, which seemed very interesting.
Yeah.
How's that been coming together?
It's going good. I'd be lying if I said I did it myself.
Yeah.
My sort of strategy is if I don't know how to do something, find someone who does. Same with the podcast. Our original idea was walk in with an iPhone and record it.
I get you.
It was never going to work. So we got a professional in yourself.
Yeah.
So I've got a guy, Terry. He actually did Kieran May's website.
Unreal.
I touched base with Kieran. I was like, look, I like your website. Who did it? I want to do something similar, and he recommended me to Terry. So shout out to Terry. I'll put him in the link below. Look.
Class. But yeah, no, I think even trying to push more content onto a website would be like, I'd say ideal.
Yeah.
Because obviously with social media, you never know when something bad's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like for example, Instagram was down there and Facebook was down maybe a week or two ago.
Yeah.
For I think a day, 24 hours, and to some people that can be crucial if all their businesses do that. You know.
Sure. As in your website is
It's your own platform. You know, you've complete control. You know what I mean? Like you can do what you want on it and just have what you want on it. You know,
you made your website.
Yeah, I made that one a while ago, but just like
It looks slick though. It
I
looks
appreciate
good.
like what we're touching on there earlier is like the perfectionism of it. Like that took me months because I just wasn't happy with how it was looking. Like
At least you know like that's exactly how you want it. I suppose.
Yeah,
The other way.
100%.
And I remember giving you like a bit of a review essentially because I remember thinking, you know what, I really want this to kick off for yourself. Like you know what I mean. Like I appreciate the work and all the work you do here, and like I know your schedule's absolutely.
It's been interesting.
Bursting at the minute, like, isn't it? So I tell you what it is. Like we were meant to have a podcast today. It didn't happen. Things like this does happen in the industry, I suppose. But I thought to myself, you know what? Instead of like losing this potential day of like recording and editing, I thought to myself, why not we sit down and like do our own content?
Start a new venture.
Yeah, start something new. And I thought to myself, you know what? Like I feel like now's the right time, and I feel like as you were saying week before, like. To really expand the podcast, I feel like this sort of something that probably has to happen.
Yeah.
And like even in my own head, like where do we actually want this? Where do we want this project to go? Because I sort of started off as just a hobby, but now I feel like fully involved, fully all in.
Yeah,
I feel like that's definitely something that we've came across. Like people, how many people have we done now? 27 or something?
Yeah, it's around 27.
Yeah. The one thing I've realised that they all have in common is they are all in on their business, on their whatever it is they're doing. There's no like a lot of people I realise that like they put their toe in the water, test it out, and if it doesn't work, so they
I get you.
stay away again. But one thing I've realised is everyone, and even like Conor McGregor and stuff, they're all in on their endeavours. I thought myself to really kick this worldwide, you could say, it needs to be I need to be all in.
Definitely.
So every evenings, weekends, and hopefully maybe full time. In the near future, I feel like we can work. Is there any like golden threads? Do you think there's a golden thread to what each of these successful individuals have?
One thing that just popped in my head when you're speaking about, you know, where you want to take a podcast, I think it's having like different stems, different streams coming out of the business and building a brand itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having not necessarily multiple sources of income, but multiple ways to get different sources of income.
Yeah.
Like say like it was this Lex of Young Hunger, a podcast, like I'd say, like taking the podcast away from it, looking at the brand Young Hunger, like what can you do with that type thing? You know, I think like a golden thread has been able to look at a business and see the brand side of it and seeing how many different ways you can not monetize it, but I guess build it up to help others. At the end of the day, that's what Young Hunger is, you know what I mean? To give young people knowledge and I guess like middle-aged older people too. You know what I mean? People
all ages now.
All ages, literally. Just to give them some sort of all these golden threads too and all these insights on how they can achieve their dreams or work towards doing it, take that step out of their comfort zone and just go out there and crush it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But like a link with everyone else I've seen with golden threads, I think it's generally just not caring about what people think. You know, like you've seen Maria say it recently, and you've seen Paul say, you've seen nearly every single podcast guest I'd say we've had on have said that same thing. Yeah. And it's the truth. It's as you said, like when you had no Facebook profile picture, like you were about scared about how people would judge you and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just removing that entire kind of idea that you have of people thinking too much of you. As Paul said, the spotlight's not on you type thing.
Yeah. Because everyone's so involved. In their own wee world.
Mad, you know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Like I used to be like that when I was younger. Yeah. So involved in my own head, like, but it was weird. So I was in two positions where like 50% of me just wouldn't really care, and the other 50% would like overthink what was happening. Yeah. But yet I would still post those random little things online and not think much of it. Yeah. But then when it came to being in person around people, that's where it would hit me a lot more. You know, it's kind of like the opposite. Social media was weird.
How did you feel whenever when you were around like those types of people? Did you?
I don't know. I just felt really like anxious, I guess, all the time. Yeah. That was the biggest thing for me. You know what I mean? It was strange, but just had to keep working through it, and then before you know it, you're looking back and it's different. Like
now you're on podcast.
Exactly. Like you just gotta. I'd say the one thing that sticks in my head is getting uncomfortable with the getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. You know, but like to be honest, you'll truly never get comfortable with the uncomfortable. But I think it's the idea of going into it isn't as daunting as it used to be. Yeah, because you do a lot of like solo traveling. Like I actually look. That's been.
That's confidence in that. You know what I mean?
But it's one thing I'm trying to do is I guess build my own brand. You know, rather than just having it being the business of videography and photography, I'm trying to build something there that I can latch onto. You know, and I don't know, like I'm trying to, I guess, at the minute working on a few passion projects, and I don't want to like go too deep into them just in case, you know, it's going to take a long time to make them. Yeah. You know, so I'm trying to solo travel to at least one destination every year. Yeah. And every month, not year, jeepers.
That's cool.
Every month, yeah. So it's interesting, but it takes the energy out of you. Like it really does drain you. Like, but if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Is what I say.
How do you find traveling, I guess, solo compared to like with people?
It's a beautiful process. Like it's a beautiful experience. At the beginning, like probably like similar to when you were doing the podcast, a lot of people were like friends more so, and then family as well. Be like, so who are you traveling with? Who you doing this with? Who you doing that with? And I'm like, no one. I'm just going on my own. And they're like, why? That's a bit weird. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, I just want to go see the world on my own. I don't want to have to rely on others to try and book the right flights, to try and wait for the right date because I know it's never going to happen. Yeah. I'm so busy. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go on my own terms, you know, try and just book a few weekends to go on solo travel, you know.
And the thing is, you were saying before we were recording, you talk to so much more people when you're on your own because you're nearly kicking yourself into that.
That's the biggest thing.
Out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. Because even with myself, like I still spend countless hours a week just on my own editing and working that way, you know.
That's tough. Like that's probably something.
It's tough, yeah, but that's why the solo traveling thing kicks in and does benefits for me, like, you know, because obviously when I go over, I do take the camera, I do take photos, videos, so I'm still technically working.
Like you can just pick up your camera and go anywhere.
Yeah, like that's the amazing thing about it, but like it comes with a lot of risks and comes with a lot of challenges, but like you get there in the end, you know what I mean? When you come home and look through the footage every now and then, it's like, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely like, I would say like 2021 version of Ross probably wouldn't even have thought of that as an option, you know, like solo traveling.
To be honest, it was something he always wanted to do, I'd say. But never had the audacity to even think about how to go about doing it. You know? I always had these ideas of just going overseas and just seeing what the crack was, you know, alone, but I never thought we'd get around to it. But
you've definitely given me sort of inspiration that way. Like I feel like after hearing your experiences and seeing your photos, I'm like, wow, like this is something I need to like nearly do.
Definitely.
Myself as well. I remember Paul saying actually go out and travel and solo travel and stuff.
That's the thing, because like if you leave it too long, like you're not going to be too old, but you're going to be at an age where you're like,
I can't do
I have my life together? Like, do I have everything that I need to keep progressing on with life whilst we're in our like young 20s, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, just do it, you know what I mean? Just go out and see different cultures, go out and experience different things, and like the lessons you'll learn whilst overseas is incredible. Like, I've met some incredible people, and like even things I've learned from them has been like very spontaneous in the moment, but been incredible just to come back and sit with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's because my first thing was going to these solo travels with no plan whatsoever. You meet people and your plan just comes together, you know what I mean? It's like almost being on a path, feeling lost, but then you get to some random destination or some stop in the way and everything just comes in the full kind of circle, you know what I mean? One of those kind of moments. I think it's cool because you can just put that into life, you know what I mean? It's, if you're feeling a bit lost right here, well, just keep going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something will come out of it.
So you're like a young business owner. Do you think that like you're going out and talking to so many people and all now and like working for yourself and you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone all the time? Like, do you feel like you take any of those skills with you, I guess, when you're traveling and stuff, or?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, you definitely do. You know what I mean? Because like, depends on the trip I'm doing. Like, if I have projects lined up, I'll bring the laptop up there and do a bit of work as well. Like when I went to London and Cambridge, Copenhagen as well, I brought the laptop so I could work on the go. But then the thing is, it's balancing your schedule when you're out there as well, which I find interesting. Because obviously in the morning time, I'll just go out and do a good bit of walking, and then the evening time I'll come back and work. But then when you meet people, like there's a lot of people who solo travel who are like a bit older, I'd say. So I'd say like late 20s, which is like interesting because it's their first ever solo trip. I've met a few people like that, and they've loved it. You know what I mean? So like you're never really too old to go solo travel. You know what I mean? Like it's an experience. It's always open. Yeah,
there's no actual time frame on yourself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Like, but I think just with my confidence just built up over the years, like I find it so much easier to speak to people abroad than I do over here.
How come?
I don't know what it is, because I think when you go abroad, you know you're alone. You know there's no one around you that can like...
there's no safety net.
There's no safety net, so it's like, right, well, if I want to go and do something with people, I have to go make friends. I have to go make connections.
Yeah.
So you just got to go out there, and if you're feeling a bit uncomfortable, just see what happens, you know? Just shoot your shot, and you'll see what happens. Like.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing, like seeing the opportunity and then taking it is a big thing.
Yeah.
I feel massive. Like you sort of just touched on it there, but like, going back to like the golden thread, I feel like, is there a golden thread to success? After like talking to like 26 or 27 people, I feel like there is. And we say this all the time, but like after seeing or talking to someone like we are now, like I would always watch it back and like make notes, like wee things that sort of stick in your head, like 100%. As you were saying, like with Maria, where she was saying about like no one really cares, like just go and do it anyway, like no one's actually thinking about you. And then 100%. like St. Paul, I remember him saying a couple of things. It was like the law of averages, like if he did door-to-door sales and like if you're not getting the next one, it's going to be the next one. If it's not that one, it's the next one. And it's all these wee nuggets I feel like I take. I know you do as well.
Yeah.
But like I was going to say to you about like the similarities and like what actually is a trait they all have. And the thing that really stood out to me is they actually all use a law of attraction, law of vibration.
Yeah.
They visualize, they're resilient as fuck, is what I find. They're all in. I was saying earlier, the willingness to take risks, I think, is a big one as well. Like seeing the opportunities and taking them, even if they're not right, still taking them, because there's always like I actually don't see failure as like a bad thing. I don't even know what failure is, because I feel like you either win or you learn. I feel like Conor McGregor's coach says something like that. I thought that was fascinating, because it's like, I know from my own I'm talking from my own experience here, but like, I was so scared to do things because I was so scared of failure before I even started. Do you know what I mean?
100%, but like that's the thing. Like as you said, I agree with you completely about failure. Like I don't see failure, and like to some people it might be a bit crazy, so some people it might be understandable. But it's like failure has a heavy word with it. You know, speaking about the law of vibration and everything, like mentioning failure, like that'll be low in the vibrations. You know what I mean? Like it's something on that kind of line. But I find that it's a very interesting way to put it though.
But if you think about it, like that's 2 wins. You either win or you win.
You know what I mean?
Learning.
Exactly.
You know
and you always want to be learning too. So if you're technically always failing, then who cares? You're still learning. You're going to get there eventually.
Yeah, Andy Malone actually said a big thing, and it was about the law of vibration. I didn't know about it before, did you?
Yeah, I used to be big into it, but like that's why when I was listening to him, like this is very interesting.
Yeah,
get the cogs in the head going, you know.
Yeah, because he's like a successful guy, like he's a wee bit older than us and stuff, in his 30s. And in fact, he was saying it, and he was saying it so like, he was saying it as if like he knew that. Do you know what I mean? Like like, there was no doubt in his head. I thought to myself, wow, like I didn't even know this existed. So I went home, took a look, and thought to myself, how have I not
It's incredible.
You know about this?
Yeah, because the phrase you used to use a lot was like airy fairy, when like about those kind of subjects.
Yeah.
And I think like that's what a lot of people in Northern Ireland still think about that. You know what I mean? Who
Yeah.
aren't educated on the subject, who have no understanding of it. Because I feel like it's the people who understand it are able to just kind of navigate their way in life however they really want. You know what I mean? Because they know what challenges that they're going to face. They know what routes they're going to have to go down. Technically, not all the time, but they know it's going to be tough and they're just going to go through it. But as long as they're attracting the right things in life and putting out the right energy, you know, it's all going to come back to them full circle eventually.
Do you feel like Northern Ireland has like an old fashioned sort of type mindset? Like you go and like you don't follow your dream, and like I feel like Americans nearly do it really well. I feel like they like the land of opportunity, as they say.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you want something, you have an idea, they say, how can we help? As over here, they're like, as you say, you're talking airy fairy, like do like what you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like with America, they all have their American dream mindset. You know what I mean? So with their young people, they're pushing them to work towards their dreams. You know what I mean? And I feel like America will always be pretty much years ahead of Northern Ireland. A lot of countries, not a lot, but there's a good amount of countries that are ahead of Northern Ireland. Like, and I think like with the history and all this country, like the past and everything has just kept us so close-minded. Like I think it's still in a close period at that time, even though it was years like decades ago, not decades ago, but it was like
a long time ago.
A long time ago, you know what I mean? 2-3 decades.
Because we weren't even born.
Yeah, like we weren't even born. You know what I mean? But we still hold on to that trauma and all of that kind of emotional factor that's that's latched on to all that past. Like it's a tough one because a lot of people just back then they just had to provide for their families. You know, that was the only thing they were worried about. You know what I mean? Not that that's the only thing they had to do, but that was their priority list. They couldn't do anything else because obviously how scarce everything was.
Yeah.
So like I think that mentality is carried on over, and they just want to see their children being able to grow up and provide safely for their family as they once had to do themselves. And I think that has created this kind of idea that makes the parents really uncomfortable whenever they see their daughter or son trying to do something completely out of the norm, completely out of the safety net, as they say. And I think that's where the mindset kind of differs. But it's once they see them winning, or they see them actually taking home some sort of prize to show off, maybe a paycheck, maybe a new car, maybe just a different mindset, then that's when they'll truly be like, okay, something's working here. They're going to figure it out, and it will put them at ease a bit. But there'll always be that thought of like, where's the safety net in this? You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah. Do you feel like you had that experience? I've been saying about your dad before.
Yeah, like a decent bit. You know what I mean? Like it was because my family just wanted me to kind of go through education. Like that was the biggest thing, just to have that as my safety net. But
what did they want you to do? What was the?
They were on my family. I was honestly blessed from my parents. Like they kind of just wanted me to do whatever kind of made me happy. They wanted me to be busy. It's the one thing my dad told me when I was around 17, 18. He's like, I don't really care what you do as long as you're busy. Because for me, if I'm not busy, I'm in a rut. You know what I mean? Like if I don't have something going on, then I'm in a rut. Like if I have one day off or I'm tired and I need to recharge, I'll still start thinking a little bit negatively. And then I have to just try and I'll just quickly go into another mindset with it. But that can always happen when I'm not doing something. You know, so whether it's work-wise, personal-wise, or socially, like I always have to be doing something. But you need to recharge every now and then, so don't take that the wrong way, but sometimes you can just get caught in a rut within that.
I feel like definitely with you, it's like you're constantly moving forward. There's another shit, constantly working, especially because you're a young business owner, you know. I respect that, like you're constantly moving, and like I feel like we probably both have that sort of type of mindset that's like, if we stay still, then things start creeping in. You know what I mean?
I think that's interesting because with yourself too, like you're still working like Monday to Friday as well.
Yeah.
And it only gives us like the weekends, really the opportunity to get podcasts done.
Yeah.
So like we're both in very similar positions, you know, more or less working non-stop and getting things done. But that's where you have to put these early hours in so you can put the more, I don't know what way to put this, but you work harder when you're younger so you can work a bit smarter and easier when you're older, you know.
Well, that's the thing, like the funny thing is like, there's times I actually genuinely love like doing this type of thing. I love like speaking this on like Young Hunger as a brand and like sort of that type of work. And like I would have no problem doing a Friday, Saturday nights.
Exactly.
And my mum, funny enough, this is like pretty recent, my mum and dad would come in and be like, please go out. Please go out, just party, enjoy yourself. And I was like, but I am enjoying myself.
That's the main thing.
Do you know what I mean? Like I used to like before COVID or up to COVID, I would love partying and stuff. Yeah. Up to like the age of 20, but like afterwards I was like, I just don't have interest in it anymore. I mean, like progress is addictive. I feel like. Yeah, I mean, same with yourself, I'm sure.
100%.
But I feel like Ryan Black, our last podcast guest, said it before, but he talks about like unicorn blood, and I feel like weirdly enough, like we both have it.
Yeah. I found that funny too because he first mentioned that to me. Must have been late last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, never heard of that in my life. And then I think like a week or two later I started hearing it, and then like a month or two later I kept hearing it everywhere, and then someone else on the podcast, I think, I can't remember, mentioned it. I could be wrong. Or I think it was my uncle actually said it.
Did he?
I think I couldn't even tell you, but I'm just like, mate, it's once you kind of hear something, it's like that saying, you look out for a certain colour car, you're going to keep seeing them.
Yeah.
And then
Same thing.
Maybe I just was hearing unicorn blood, but it was just gibberish to me or something back then, you know what I mean? I couldn't latch on to it.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting seeing that, but we definitely do have something. You
I
know,
know.
there's something in us, you know what I mean? I think that's the thing, like we're doing something we both really enjoy.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, there's not even time to fit in alcohol in our schedule that
Yeah.
much, you know? Like with me, I might just have like the odd drink now, but ever since going like 3 months sober, like last year.
How'd you feel?
Just amazing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but it forces you to find a different buzz, because I guess I was always finding a buzz off alcohol for a while, but just as to kind of let loose and just kind of, I don't know, just have my outlet that way. But then I guess I just kind of started doing the sea dips and everything like that, and then just a lot of breath work and meditating. That was kind of my outlet that way, you know, just getting out with nature and grounding yourself was beautiful.
So you see, growing up and like the drinking stuff, did you ever be like, I'm drinking for confidence, or I'm drinking because
Yeah,
that's such a
100%.
big thing here.
It's a massive thing.
If you go out and you are sober, I feel like people are like, why are you not drinking?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially like our age, I remember all the time, but it's like, why are you not drinking? Like, don't be boring. That used to really crack me up.
That's the biggest one. Yeah. But like I think that's we're both kind of like slightly introverted, you know what I mean? Like introverted extroverts kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people who are like that would have that similar experience. They would drink to kind of build up a bit more confidence to go in them kind of social situations where you wouldn't be so comfortable while you're not drinking.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing about taking a break off drink. You know, if you find yourself in that kind of way right now, give yourself like 3 months off and just still go out, you know what I mean? But don't go home before it hits 12 or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as you say, like a lot, like nothing good happens after one, you know? And then like, but being sober in those scenarios, like you'll actually really see it in a different perspective, because you're like, wow, do I really actually enjoy this kind of scene? You know what I mean? Like, or it's just when I'm drunk, I'll just enjoy anything kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, I find it weird that way.
And then this other thing is like, you can still go out like and socialise, but just maybe doesn't have to be in like that sort of setting. Like
Exactly.
I feel like
exactly.
if me and you went out and just sort of like, just like had the crack and like not partying, but like you can appreciate someone's time and like conversation a lot more.
Definitely.
I feel like it's underrated.
Yeah, 100%. Because I love being in the company of others. You know what I mean? Like when I'm for food, something like that with other people. I just love it. Like, you know what I mean? Just having a good conversation.
You get so much more from it too,
exactly,
don't you? Like,
you know what I mean? And like, don't even get me wrong. Like one or two pints won't even hurt for me. Like, you know, it's nice to kind of just have one and enjoy it every now and then.
Yeah.
But then it's like just going to that length of just one after another, after another, after another. It's not good. Like,
yeah.
Like for me now, the hangovers are it's more so like the
2 days.
It's like the darker side of my brain just unleashes when I drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when I wake up the next day, I'll feel a bit down. I'll feel a bit like just groggy and start to be a bit lazy as well. And I'm just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I know. I feel like, especially if you're a young business owner, like, and you maybe have work the next day, like on your own business, or like,
there's always something going on too. Like,
it can be a big impact, I think.
Yeah, of course. And what about yourself? You recently done 75 hard, wasn't it?
I did. I got to like 73 days.
Yeah.
And then one of the thing is, like, you're meant to do like 2 sessions and all this type of thing, and then I missed like the 73rd day of like training. Me saying like I've done 75 hard, completed it, I just can't honestly say that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. Because
whenever you miss something, you have to go back to the start.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, I can't even remember what happened, but I just remember going to work and like I'm not even trying to I'm taking that full accountability.
No, I know, I get you.
But like the day that I had, I was like, I just came home and I was wrecked, and then the next thing you know, I missed it. Yeah. So I'm not proud to say it. I missed it.
Sorry for bringing that up then.
No, you're grand. But then again, I don't really see that as failure either, because
not
like you've done 73 days of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the good thing too, you might want to go back to it next year. Like, you never know, like to be that kind of hunger as well.
Yeah.
To get back to it, but like you were off the drink for that though, weren't you?
I'm still off it. Yeah.
Still off, and then how long's that been?
It has been, what date is it now? End of March.
It is 20 something.
I think
20 something.
Well, I think the last
21st, 2nd, 3rd, 23rd.
Yeah. 23rd. Well, I suppose like I think the last time I had a drink was like the work due in like December, which is like just before Christmas. So
very good.
January, February, March. 3 months or so, you were saying? I feel like I don't need it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like when you come off it, like the only reason I went back on it is because it was coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want a really Irish coffee. You know what I mean? I want to have that wee traditional Irish coffee and just have a little nice vibe. You know what I mean?
Did you ever do 75 hard, or would you ever?
I don't think so. I don't think it's really, like, honestly. Like, I don't know, like routine wise and everything, for me, I can't always do it. I don't know, you know, like for me.
Every day's different, isn't it?
Yeah, every day is different. Like you can never really predict what's going to happen. Like you could shoot off a project and then think it's done, then you could have a whole bunch of things coming back from a different perspective that needs to be changed, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when I'm doing projects, they'll be going to one person, to another, so they'll be getting approval by a few different people. And then there's always going to be little like chops and changes you'll have to make. So like one project you'll think will be done for one day will come back to you and you might have to spend half a day working on it again just to do little touch-ups. So
Yeah.
like you can never really plan it for me. That's the one thing I struggle with the gym, like, you know, like I don't think I've been in 2 weeks, but since I've been traveling, everything just knocks it out of you. But I'm doing loads of walking. I'm gonna have my wee backpack on, it's about 10, 15 kilos.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm doing a good amount of walking with that on my back, and your bag just be,
It's nearly a workout in itself. You know?
Yeah, it is.
How,
it is.
How do you feel like, say you've missed a week or two, how do you feel that in your own head? Like, do you feel like...
Like mentally, no. Like
No?
it's weird. I thought I would have, but like I just kind of might look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh, you could be doing better, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like it wouldn't really take a big toll on me, I guess.
I feel like even one day, if like, I don't know if it's a mental thing, but like if I miss one day, I feel like I've lost everything. Like it's just like mental. Physically, you probably haven't, but like mentally, I'm like, I feel weak.
Yeah.
It sounds weird saying it, but like that's where 75 hard's actually good because you're not getting that feeling, if you know what I mean.
No, that's brilliant.
I feel like another thing is like everyone has their own sort of thing going on. Like waking up early might be good for some people, and then like waking up late might be good for others. It's all about like what works best for you.
Definitely.
Is another thing I found from like doing the podcast and stuff, because everyone has their different styles and like needs and stuff. Even Stephen Bartlett, I remember him saying like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning was his best work production.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy because I was like, how can that's completely different to me.
It's interesting, like, because I'd be similar, but like it's like one thing that popped in my head there with Maria saying like she used to be never be a morning person, but then after I don't know, she was doing something. I think she was trying to get to the gym earlier. I can't remember what it was exactly, but started getting up early, go to the gym early, and now she's a morning person.
Yeah.
So like everything can shift, you know what I mean? But like the similar thing as you're saying about Stephen Bartlett there is like you need to find that kind of rhythm that works best for you.
Yeah.
Obviously in a healthy way. Like you don't want to be staying up till 1, 2 a.m. to get your perfect workflow, then hit the sack around 3, 4 a.m. to wake up in the morning for like 6, 7 a.m. for work. You know, like that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But it's finding ways.
You did that at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, like it was bad for a while. Like there'd be times like I used to be very bad with my sleep. My sleep patterns used to be through the roof. 1 week it could be good, the next week it could be just a few hours every night, not even. Sometimes like 2 hours max maybe. But like you just realise it takes a toll on you after a while. Like it takes a big toll on you. Like I think it must have been probably coming up to 2 years ago. Like I was just working that much and not sleeping at all. I just put myself in the hospital. Like
did you?
Yeah, and I was just ill. But I was only like thankfully just in there for like 24 hours. Like I was very, very deficient on potassium, is that the one? Whatever, some bananas, something like that. So everything just left me, like my body, everything felt like my soul just disappeared for a while, like, and came back to me after a while. But that was my turning point where I'm like, right, I need to get everything sorted.
Yeah.
I need to make sure my energy's on point and I need to make sure I'm getting enough rest. But then don't get me wrong, there's times where your brain just doesn't want to stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've tried to find many ways to do it, but there's sometimes you just can't control it, you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
So your clogs just be going all night. And sometimes you can sleep through it, sometimes you can't. But, you know.
It's like an overactive mind, nearly, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's funny because you can be ready to go to bed one time at night, and then one thought you latch on to sparks every single other thought, and you're sitting there not contemplating life, but thinking about how you're going to get here, there, what am I going to do next, what I haven't done yet, and it just goes off, man.
You said you meditate. Do you think that helps with like an overactive mind?
You see, the thing is, like a lot of people speak about meditating, and your first image will be someone kind of sitting, legs crossed, arms up. But meditating can be
woo-woo type thing, is nearly.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. But like meditating can just be a way of living. You know what I mean, and the way that you practice in daily routines. You know, like say I'm on a bus coming home. You know what I mean. Like I'll just kind of put myself in the present moment then and there, and then just focus on my breath, and that's it in its own way. Meditating. Say you're at the gym, you know what I mean, you're breathing and exhaling as you're doing your workouts, that's meditative, you know what I mean? Say you're going out for a walk, you know, maybe no music, no nothing, just listening to nature, that's meditative, like, you know. So like I wouldn't just sit there, so I used to like lie in my bed and sit in my bed and do it that way. And then the odd time I go to like group sessions where we do meditating sessions where it would be like that, you kind of be sitting there lying down, focused on your breath, which is very interesting because you go into a different kind of state of mind compared to the other ones, you know, because the other ones you're more focused on the present. So it's interesting, like it's interesting, but there's loads of different ways. Like, would you do it yourself?
Before the podcast, no. Like before, like like the original, like 2021 or whatever it is. No, absolutely not. To be honest, I never even like thought about it. It was never on the radar. But I think after speaking to a couple of people we've had, it's definitely more of an option. Like actual meditating, not really. But I would sort of have a wee thing where I write down. Like a bullet point list of like everything you're grateful for, like just like for this, for that. Like, in a sense, and then like a couple of like wee goals you're looking to do of that year, next couple of months, and then like your like mantra, so you're writing down like everything, like these positive affirmations about yourself. I thought after doing that, it sounds like, I remember got a lot of stick for it like back in the day, but see now like I'm so like, I would tell anybody to do it, because the mindset shift is absolutely phenomenal. Like you can walk into work and like you could have just like you could wake up late and have a bad day straight off the bat. But if you do something like that, you're nearly going to work saying thank you so much for even getting me to work.
Exactly.
And having a job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's I don't know, I'm going to butcher this now, but there was a phrase I once heard. It was about like toast in the morning.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know if I've mentioned it to you or you've mentioned it to me, but it's basically your day can be based upon how your toast comes out of the toaster. You know what I mean? Whether it comes out black burnt or whether it comes out perfect, you know what I mean? Just perfectly golden, you know, ready to go. But like you can allow that, like say you burn your toast, you can allow that to affect your day, because by putting, if you're going to have another slice of toast, you can put that in, you may end up running 2 to 3 minutes late. Then your entire day might be in a rush, depending on what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
But then say you take out the burnt toast, you might just scrape it off. You're like, oh well, that's okay, we just burnt it. We'll still munch it. Might not be the best for me, but you know, it'll be something to keep me ticking. Yeah. Or like you can just toss it out and just be like, right, we might just get a bit of food later. You never know, and then we'll go out the door. But like it's all about perspective. And from the start of your day, like say you're doing your journal in the morning time, I'd say that's crucial, because the one thing about meditating is it puts you in the present moment. When you're in that present moment, it allows you to be more grateful. And the fact that you're writing your gratitude out whilst doing it is like major. You know what I mean?
And that links into like your vibration.
No, 100%.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's mad because like I feel like, as Andy Malone was saying, about the whole point about doing that and like working out and meditating, it lifts your vibration.
Definitely.
So you then see more opportunities. It's nuts, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
It's crazy, like.
Like, what would you think the younger Michael would think about all these kind of like practices that you're doing right now?
I think he'd probably laugh and be like, "What are you doing?" Because he doesn't know. If you know what I mean, like I feel like whenever we say or do something like this, especially here, people can maybe like laugh, be like, "What's he doing?" or "That's weird" or something. But until they do it and experience it,
they'll never know.
They'll never know. It's like waking up in the morning. I found like it's so hard getting up, but like once you do all those wee things, you're feeling so good. Like it could be raining. I remember driving to work the other day and got up early, did the gym session, did all of this. I did an ice bath, and people say like, "Oh, that's like your time wasting," but like I feel like I need to do that to feel a certain way, and it's actually like a drug. It's like a natural drug. And I remember going to work, that's nothing to do with like Young Hunger related. And it was absolutely lashing, and it was early in the morning, and I was in traffic, and I thought to myself, like, I'm actually having a really great day. Do you know what I mean? That's all about perspective. And like you look across people in your traffic beside you, and they're like, they're angry and all. Before they even get to work, I thought to myself, I'm having an amazing day, and I'm only going to do my day job.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like it's all about your self-talk. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's even like you were making me think of Daniel Dargan there, especially like whenever he said he went into the shop or something, was lashing outside. Yeah. And the guy said to him, or I can't remember what it was, but I think the shopkeeper said, "Oh, it's such a horrible day out there and all, isn't it?" Like, because it was lashing down. Then Daniel was like, "No, it's a beautiful day to be alive," or something like that. He said,
"Let's go, baby."
You know what I mean? Like that sticks in my head, because as you were saying there, you're obviously driving through the rain. Most people would be like, "Oh, it's a nightmare to get through. It's a nightmare. Like, I just want to get to work and be out of this." But like when you kind of just take it all in, you know what I mean? Like you need all cycles of life to truly experience it, and once you can understand that you can love every single day as it is, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the toast.
Impacts it. The toast, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Talking to yourself how that toast's going to treat you in the morning.
Yeah,
you know?
Another thing I actually heard the other day, this is so off topic, but it was, I heard a guy, I forgot his name, but he says like, even to be alive is like a gift, because out of all the amount of people who could be born, never get to be born. So to even like to die is like hardly anyone, the small percentage of people get to experience it. So that's beautiful in its own way.
100%.
And I can't remember his name. I can know what he looks like, but I just can't.
I think I can kind of see a guy in my head.
Yeah, he's like your
beard, no beard.
Has he got a beard? I think he has got a beard.
Big beard?
No. Who are you thinking
Bald?
of? No, he's got like curly hair, I think. I think his name's Neil or something. Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna look it up, because where's my phone at? Because it's gonna be really. He's like what do you call those space guys?
Oh, he's wearing glasses.
Astronaut? No, he doesn't. Well, I think I actually had a TikTok of it. I thought to myself, so what were you saying? Until I get this.
What was I saying? Something about self-talk.
Yeah. Did you say who's your guy? Did you say you were thinking of?
I don't even know. I don't know why Alex from Woolsey popped in my head.
Yeah, he's a good one.
He's brilliant. Yeah.
Daniel mentioned him.
Very brilliant.
Actually, I heard a thing he said the other day. It was like, the road to success and the road to failure is the same road, but one just lasts longer.
Yeah.
So the road to failure, you're jumping or you're giving up or you're saying this doesn't work, as in like exact same road, same person. It could be, but go that wee bit longer. Turns out to be success. Do you know what I mean?
That's mad. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did get it. I'll actually play it. Can we play it?
Nice.
400 trillion to 1.
My phone's a crack.
Is that who it was? Oh,
That guy.
oh. Yes, I know. I can't remember his name.
Could ever exist will never even be born. Take every
Yeah, that's incredible.
smell
I was gonna say it looked like a funky, like overlay on it, but it's like a phone crack.
Yeah, my phone's cracked.
I was gonna say like it looked real funky.
I need a new phone. That's on the to-do list. But yeah, I just thought that was absolutely
That's powerful.
just cool, like, isn't it?
Definitely.
So
Yeah. Because when you think of just the opportunity that, as you said, the people never get to experience. You know,
Yeah.
even just getting into the world and then going through the world in itself, not experiencing everything.
yeah, sometimes you need to
Wow.
hear it to like actually like put yourself back in that sort of mindset. You know,
Definitely.
you know,
Definitely.
even if you do all the good stuff, like wee things can still
Yeah.
get in your way and you forget. But is there anything else you want to speak when we're on our?
I'd
We're talking about-
say, I kind of want to touch upon, like, how did you feel when you were speaking in the school? Because obviously, wasn't that a school that you attended? Like, when you were what, the head boy, no?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Funny enough, a story behind that is like, growing up, as I was saying before, like I was the quiet guy,
Yeah.
and like my older sister, she was successful in her own way, and my brother was successful in like sport and school and stuff. So there was always, she was head girl and he was head boy and stuff. So whenever it came to my turn, I remember my mum and dad laughing about it. They're like, I actually feel so bad because like I don't want him to be the one who's thinking he's a failure. So whenever I was growing up, I think it was like fourth year, so you're about 15,
Yeah.
and like people would say to me all the way through school, oh, like if you don't get it, you're going to be an embarrassment,
Okay, I get
and
you.
if you do get it, it's only because your sister and your brother got it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a lot of pressure for like a young guy.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Young 15-year-old. But it was always that spark. I was like, you know what? Like, I'll show you. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's go. that hunger was there.
That's where it kicked, yeah.
Yeah, and we had to do like a presentation and like an interview process and all for it. And like I remember there was the principal and the vice principal here, and like you had to stand up and present as to what you could do for the school and like how you could help and this type of thing. And like it must have been a good month. I prepared for it, wrote everything out, had these wee like prompt cards and all,
Yeah.
and I would actually present in front of my mum and dad and my sister. I would actually invite people to speak at it, and then my dad would be like, I don't like that, like you need to fix that, and like really, really highly critical.
Yeah.
But I actually remember, like this is the feeling I remember I had, but I walked in to that like, what would you say, presentation with the principal and the vice principal, already visualised it 1,000 times before. Didn't even really need the prompt cards because I knew what I was saying beforehand. And it was such a scary experience, but they said to me, like, how did you feel doing it? I says, I actually really enjoy doing it. I actually love doing this. I thought to myself, wow, like, I actually love speaking to this type of people. I get the same feeling every time we do a podcast.
That's class.
Which is cool. And then I end up getting it. And then, of course, people would say, like, oh, you only got it because your brother and sister got it. But, like, you're always going to get wee niggles and people saying stuff to you.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like,
Just
they didn't see the work that went in.
Exactly. That's the whole thing too. I think that's a cool process. That like you had the prompt cards there, you had all the preparation.
Yeah.
And then you just when you started visualizing it towards the end.
Yeah.
You're like, you know, I don't need this. You know, I feel like sometimes over preparing for things can like almost be your downfall too.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? Like you can give as many prompt cards you want, many slides as you want, but if you go into too much detail on the one side of things,
Yeah.
it can be your downfall as well. Like.
That's another thing at the start of the podcast, like you want to make sure you touch every point.
Yeah.
And as you said, it just doesn't come across as
Exactly.
authentic.
You just let life flow. You know what I mean?
But I think the real interesting part is like 2020, that was 2023, was it? I think that a talk
Last
at
year,
school.
yeah, that was last year. I
So
think.
like 2022, I had like a vision board, and on it I drew like go back and talk to the school and stuff.
Yeah.
And then a year after I made that, I'm visualizing. I got the call one day. I was like, "Here, like, is that Michael?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Do you fancy coming and doing a bit of a talk
Unreal.
for the sports day end of school service?" And I was like the law of attraction's real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all real.
That's incredible. And what year students that you're talking to?
It was like first to fourth year.
Oh wow.
So the fifth
That's
year,
very interesting.
the first to fifth year were like off and like study
Yeah.
leave, and like it's pretty cool. There's a photo I'm gonna be show here, but like when I was a student, I was shaking the guy's hand, like the guest speaker, and then now it's like there's of me being the guest speaker.
Yeah.
But
That's unreal.
it was nice. It was like this actually works. Like that was the thing. Like this actual law of attraction, law of vibration is all real.
It's like, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Put it in perspective for you, like, how
Yeah.
it can really happen.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, was there any, like, did they ask you many questions or anything, the students?
The students, no, they didn't. Some of them actually stayed behind. They said, like, if you
Chat,
want to chat, you can.
Class.
And there was a couple of people, and I thought to myself, like, even them coming up to speak, I can tell them they're going to be, they're going to, you know, they see
at that age, though, like, first to fourth year, that's wild.
Yeah,
I think that's super interesting, too, that you had the opportunity to speak to people of that age as well.
yeah, because we did like a wee bit of a promo video for it.
Yeah, I remember that, like, and that's mad.
And Joel M did the.
Joel M, big shout out to Joel.
Yeah.
He helped us out with that one towards the end.
He did because
Yeah.
he did that talk, and everyone knew Blue Peter, like,
Yeah, that's
and
massive,
this
man.
blue, and he like Blue Peter and like this presenter from Bangor that we're not friends with.
Crazy.
It's cool, like.
Crazy, I think, yeah.
So
Well, that's powerful. I'd say plenty more speeches for you to come.
I don't know, like I used to
Up now, I'd say.
back in the day, I used to hate public speaking, like.
That's the crazy thing, yeah.
Like in GCSE English, I don't know if you had to do it, but like, you
Oh,
had-
standing from the class.
Yeah.
Oh,
How did you
bro.
find- how did you
no,
find
I
that then?
hated it.
Did
I
you?
hated it because it's not even the thought of speaking in front of everyone, but it's the thought of like, this just isn't good what I've wrote here and I've got to present it to the class.
yeah,
It's funny, yeah. No, I couldn't do that. Like,
different.
Yeah, I've done a good bit of public speaking since leaving school, and I don't know. But it's weird. I'm similar to you. Like,
Yeah.
you go from hating it to loving it in a certain way.
What do you think changed?
I don't know. I think it's being able to wanting to impact people. I always kind of wanted to impact people, and I think I never took the right steps when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because obviously I didn't know how to impact myself. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what to do good for myself. So then I kind of just got in this rut of trying to figure life out basically. And then once I kind of did and started going in the right direction, I just wanted to share that with people.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me. I think public speaking was a way to overcome so many fears and anxieties that people could even see it. Like I would go up on stage, and if I felt anxious, I would let people know. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
something I'm trying to hide. I want
People,
to be relatable.
people can relate with that more.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, he's nervous. Like, obviously, do you know what I mean?
100%. You know what I mean? And I think that was the biggest part for me is just letting people know how I was feeling and letting people know the emotions that go through you.
Yeah.
And then showing your progression from where you were to where you're at is the biggest part.
Yeah.
Because then if one person can relate to you,
Even that, as you were saying, like it's making the difference. Like, if you went into a room and did a talk, obviously it's scary.
Yeah.
But like, if one person took something away, your job's done.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the way I go about life with everything. Like
Yeah.
that's what I see with yourself. You know what I mean? It's like it's as long as what I'm doing affects one person,
Yeah.
then I would do it a million times over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it. I actually remember Johnny saying to me at the start, I was like, look, I don't know if like this podcast thing is a good idea. Like, what happens if people don't watch, people don't like it? And he goes, like, Michael, like, if this affects one person, if this helps one person, your job is done.
Yeah.
And I feel like, whoa, like that was such a shift. And like, do you know what I mean? As you were saying, like, I think another thing you were saying there about is like, if you're going out and talking to people about like you and your business, it means so much more than just talking about a random topic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
We had to do something like in GCSE English where you're talking about like a song or something and what it
Yeah.
means to you. It sounds silly now,
No,
but
I
like
get you.
there's no real interest.
Exactly.
As
You've
if
got
you-
no connection to it. Like you
Yeah.
haven't got the rapport with what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
So your heart just won't be in it.
It's different whenever you're passionate about
Exactly.
it. Isn't it?
Like that's what you can truly ignite the fire within you. You know what I mean?
100%. Well, here I think we've went over a lot of things.
Yeah,
be
that was
honest.
brilliant. Really enjoyed that.
Is there anything else you want to talk over when we're here?
No, I think that's
No?
those all points that I wanted to get out of here.
Happy enough. Well, that's the first one in the book.
Class.
We'll probably try to make more of this as a bit of a series and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see where we go from there and do a bit more in-house type work and see where our mindset's at. And I know people are curious, but Ross, thank you for sitting down with us.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Been a pleasure. Been a pleasure. Happy days.
Thank you so much. So that's been all from the official Young Holder podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.